Hi everybody, welcome back. We are continuing to work on our Prima Spring Farmhouse albums, and today we're going to continue working on our pages. I have one out that we're going to work on, and I'm looking for, here it is, my tool. Alright, so this is the page that we made that has the flap, which I interrupted to show you could make it bigger if you have those journaling cards that you want to add. And I'm trying to stick with a little bit of a theme where I have a flap on the front and some sort of pocket on the back. So we're going to flip this one over, and this is going to be the back, and we're going to make an envelope pocket. And this is going to be easier than some other envelopes we've done. So I want you to cut a piece 5 by 5. All right, we're using 1/4 inch squares on this for the flaps. If you want to make a 1/2 inch, then you can just make your square a little bit bigger. But so you got a 5 by 5. Place it in your scoreboard. It doesn't matter because it's a square, and you're going to score it at 1/4 of an inch and 3 inches. And I want you to rotate it 90 degrees and score it at 1/4 of an inch and 4 3/4 of an inch. All right. And then get this out of the way. Get out your scissors, and you know what, I'm going to mark this so you can see it on camera. We're going to cut away, this is the shorter end. You're going to cut away, here's where it's scored, right here. I don't know if you can see. And you're going to cut these pieces away. I hope that's dark enough for you to see. Okay, and you're going to come up at a bit of an angle like this. And then cut all of this away. Okay? So I'm going to do that. Just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Now you're going to cut the little corners out of the bottom. Just there. Okay. Get these out of the way. All right, so this is our going to be our envelope pocket. So you're going to take and fold your little tabs to the inside like this. And if you want to make 1/2 inch flaps, by all means just cut a 5 1/2 inch piece. The reason I went with the 5 inch piece with the 1/4 inch is I had a 5 inch piece of scrap and I didn't want to cut a different piece out and waste that, or just use up a piece I didn't have to. Okay, so that is going to go down like that, okay? And then you're going to take this piece and you're going to fold it back, okay? Like that. All right, so now you have, this will be open, this will be a pocket, and this is a flap, and we want to make another pocket that we're going to put on the front of this one, and that's going to form the envelope, okay? And now there is a way you could do this where if this was a longer piece and you can fold it up, but this I find is the easiest method, and also, you know, if you have smaller pieces like I do, you don't have to cut anything special. All right, so I'm gonna lift that up, and I'm looking at my scraps to see, and I have this piece. I think it's a little short. Let me see if I got a fatter piece. Yes, I have this piece. This, I think, is going to work perfectly. So for this, we're going to need a piece, and this is long enough that I can use a 1/2 inch tab, so I think I will. So I want a piece 5 1/2 by 3. And if you don't have a scrap 3 inches wide and you don't want to cut one, just go ahead and use whatever you have that looks about the same size. Okay, so 5.5 by 3. Let me get my board. And this one we're gonna score just like most other pockets, which is 1/2 inch on one long side and 1/2 inch on each of the short sides. All right, I'm gonna put that aside. And we are going to, there's my scissors. Now you could edge punch this, you could edge punch the flap on the envelope, but I think what I'm just going to do on this is round the corners, and this one I'm just going to keep straight, but I would like to cut out a half circle there. So hang on, let's see. This is a 1.5 inch circle punch. It's the only one I have, so that's why I'm using it. If you want to use a different size, you know, by all means. I want to make sure this is at least reasonably centered. Okay, so this is 4.5, so the center of this is at 2 1/4. Just gonna make a mark. There we go. And I don't want it to be too deep. I don't know if you can see, hopefully. There we go. All right. And move some things out of the way. And fold to the inside. Like that. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with this piece. You know, actually, before we do that, let me round those corners before I forget. I'm just going to use the 1/4 inch side. Okay. All right, and take your glue. Again, you put the 2 side pieces in first, put a dab of glue, and fold over. Okay, and you know what, I probably should have trimmed these, but you can still do it. Just go in and trim those. Just like that. Okay, let's take our pocket. Now remember, the tabs here are going to be attached to our page, and our second pocket is going to be attached on the front, like that. So that we end up with an envelope on the front and a pocket behind. I'm just picking it up to make sure I got everything lined up nicely, and I do. Oops, I just dropped all my pages. Grab my wipe. That. Let me grab those pages. So there is our pocket. Now, let's grab our page. Let's be careful now because we want to make sure we get this the way we want it. So this is going to be the spine, and I'm a little concerned about this one. I guess it's all right. We'll see after the book is made if this is rubbing into the spine too much, we may trim this, but it seems like it's okay. And I should not have taken out that scrap. Okay, put that back in. And let's go ahead. So this is the spine. This page gets flipped over, and this is going to get glued down here at the bottom. Okay, and we're only gluing as a pocket, just the tabs. So let me open that up. And we're going to repeat. I was going to say just a tiny dab of glue, and then I put a huge one. Although that looks like it may be mostly bubble. Okay. And just put a little bit of glue here. I was going through my pages, and somewhere I accidentally got a little glue under a flap and glued it down. I'll show you. And it slightly damaged the page, but fortunately I was planning on putting a flap in the spot, so it should be all right. Okay, so just like that. And I'm going to use a ribbon to close this, so I don't need a magnet. If you wanted to use a magnet, you know what? I was going to tell you how, but I'm not, because it's not a good idea to use a magnet on this, and I'll tell you why. Let me just get this glued down. The only way you could do this with a magnet would be to place at least one of the magnets inside the pocket, right? It would either have to be inside this back pocket, inside this pocket, or inside the side pocket. And however you do that, if you do that, you're going to be interfering with whatever goes in and out of that pocket. And, you know, that's just what drive you crazy. Every time you try to take something in and out of the pocket, you bump into the magnet. All right, I'm just giving that a good pinch to make sure it's glued down. So I'm going to put a little ribbon here to close this. Okay, so now, that's my do our usual grab a scrap here. And we have a pocket back here, and then we're going to have a pocket here. And just checking, make sure I didn't glue anything. All right, so now let's review. I've got some notes on here so that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so this is page 1 that has the multi-flip that we made. Right, and it flips up, down, and there's a pocket on the back. And then here's page 2 that has the sort of door opening type flaps. And there's nothing on the back of this, and I think I'm going to leave it that way because I always like to have at least one page with nothing, where you can just put a beautiful paper and maybe a photo on top. Okay, this is going to be page 3 that has the flap this way. Turn it over, and we have our little envelope pocket on the back. And then this one, and this is where I'm trying to decide what I want to do. This originally was going to go here with the pocket, but then I thought, well, if I keep to the theme, it really needs, that pocket needs to be on the other side. So this way, so I'm thinking maybe just a belly band here because I really like them and I haven't done one in the book. So I think that's just going to be a belly band. And we're going to flip it over and have our pocket here. All right, so for this book, all of the pages are done, except for whatever we decide to do on the inside covers. And I have notes on there because I think I know what I'm gonna do. So I've tucked those in here. I'm gonna set it aside somewhere. I've got so much stuff. And let's bring out this book. And we've made our pages, and I have here flap that is pockets. So we have to make that. I've gone through and made some notes. There's a lot of pages here, so, and here I have a half side flap, and that's just going to be a short flap. That's what that means. An envelope pocket, so that's going to be the same pocket we just made, but bigger. And here I have the pinwheel waterfall, and that's what we're going to do next. I've made these in a couple of my books. I love them. Okay, so we're going to do a pinwheel waterfall, which I will credit down below where I learned how to do this because I cannot remember. But it was a video that I saw on YouTube a long time ago, and I've used versions of it in a lot of my books because I really like it. So let's get started with our pinwheel waterfall. This is my 3M tape. I do that a lot. I go through my books and I pick what I want to do in each spot and just stick a piece of tape with it down so I don't forget. I've got my notes off here to the side. All right, so you're going to need, this is just one of our pages. This is the one that doesn't have the pockets. And grab my ruler. Going to need 8 pieces that are 4.5 by 3.5. Place the 4.5 inch side along the top of your scoreboard and score it at 1/2 inch for all of them. All right. Then if you want, you can corner punch these. You can use an edge punch. I'm just going to round my corners. And see, this is the larger book. I wonder if I want to use, no, I was going to use 1/2 inch, but I don't think I will. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch. All right, so we're going to do that on all 8 of them. Okay, so there's that. Now, before we can place our waterfall, we need to mat this page. So let me grab our paper. So pretty. And I actually have, let's see, this one's going to be the cover. Set that aside. And I don't want that one. I think that would be too distracting. I think that might be nice. Oh, you know, this would probably be, this would be good, because not that much of it's going to show, and these little hearts might be a good idea. They wouldn't distract from anything. Let's see. Oh, this would be good too. I think I'm going to use this one. Okay. All right, so in order to mat this, we're going to need a piece. 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let's see if that fits. That falls right in the ditch of my cutter. Yes, that's fine. It's gonna go this way though. Be careful, those little hearts are directional. And let's grab some glue. And I think that vintage photo is gonna be our ink for this project. Seems like a good match. So let's ink that. In a couple of those places, but that's okay. Okay, now double checking here. Yes, this is the bottom. I want to make sure I get my mat on right side up. All right. Now this, as you all know, I'm not the best at getting my mats on perfectly straight. However, with this one you really do want to try and get them on as straight as you can. So with that, I probably jinxed myself, but I'll give it a shot, right? All right. Actually, I'm going to open this up to try to give myself my best shot at getting this straight. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now, okay, good. And I'm going to grab a really clear ruler for this. I'll be honest with you, I've got my Tim Holtz. I'm not that on them. I don't know. I find I have a hard time measuring with this ruler. It's good for helping line things up, and whatnot, but it's not, I don't know. Between the metal edge on this side, this weird dotted thing on this side, I have a hard time getting the measurements I want with it. However, the quilting ruler for this particular purpose is also not the best, so we're just going to go with it. All right, now this first row can be a little tricky, and we're going to be measuring from the edge of the mat, not the edge of the page, which is one reason you want to make sure this mat is straight. So I'm going to open it up. This is the top corner, okay? And I'm turning it over. Okay, this is the top corner. I'm going to start there. And what I want is on this mat, I want to be in a 1/2 inch and down a 1/4 inch. So I've put a 1/2 inch mark here, 1/4 inch mark there. Okay, but I'm going to slide it over because I want to be able to use this edge to measure with. So I've put, okay, sorry, I had an interruption. Somebody knocked on my door. Okay, so I'm putting one of the lines right against the mat here, and I'm putting the 1/4 inch line against the mat across here. Remember, this is the top corner. And what I want to do is take my first piece and place it a 1/2 inch in and a 1/4 inch down, like that. Okay, so, and I'm using my ruler to guide this. This first couple of, actually, the first 4 pieces, you know what? No, I'm not going to trim it. You don't need to trim these corners. That's really actually almost best that you don't, because you're going to have to line something else up against them shortly. Okay, so double check that my ruler hasn't moved. And I'm coming in a 1/2 inch and down a 1/4 inch. Just like that. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to turn it. And we're going to repeat in a 1/2 inch, down a 1/4 inch with the next one. So now we have 2. I'm going to turn it. You can see where we're going. In a 1/2, down a 1/4 with this one. I'm going to use a magnet to close this eventually. So I'm going in a 1/2, down a 1/4. Let's make sure I get that down. But I have done one of these, and I should mention it. Just, whoops, I just moved that. Let me make sure it gets back where it belongs. I have done one of these where I put ribbons crosswise under this mat and then brought them over and tied them in a bow in the middle. And that's pretty. So if you think you'd like that, that's an option for you. Just do it before you put the mat down. Okay, so now we have 3. And this is going to be the trickiest one because we have this to deal with, but it'll be all right. So same thing, we're going to be in a 1/2, down a 1/4. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And if you want to stop with 4, you can stop with 4, but usually, and most of the time, that's what I do. But I'm going to go ahead and do a double one. So as you can see, I had a bit of a mistake, a big mistake. However, it's okay because a big mat goes here. There'll be something showing here, but I can hide that, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so I'm going to show you how to put the second round of flaps in, and what I did is I put them in the wrong place, and I had to pull them up. By the time I realized they were stuck, and I could start over, but I know I don't really have to. I've only got this one spot that I'm going to have to hide, and that's going to be easy enough. All right, so what you want to do is take your second round and put it just beneath the score line of the previous round. Right there. Okay. Slide that up, you can see what I'm doing. Make sure you're below the score line just a hair, because you don't want to interfere with the, this one needs to be able to close. And this one. Oh, I forgot to round these. I had to cut these new, and I have to round them, but that's okay. I need to stop saying that. I feel like I say, but that's okay, about 20 times in my videos. And let me grab my crocodile, and we'll do that while I'm thinking of it. Best way here. Now, I'm going to put a magnet, just one for now, right in the middle here. And then we're going to go ahead, I was going to wait to mat that, but I want to go ahead and do it now so I don't have to keep looking at that mess. And then you'll see that it's fixable. I've got all these little trimmings from my crocodile here. Get those out of there. All right, let's just pop that there. And let's grab our paper pad. Now the other side of these hearts are the bunnies. We could use the bunnies. Let's see what else we have. We have this beautiful paper, which I just love. Let's see, several cut aparts. Got that. Check. I'll go with the bunnies. Right, and this needs to be stuck to the magnet. 5 by 5. This is going to go here, which, as you can see, basically hides everything except a teeny spot right there, which I'm not worried about. And be careful, make sure you get this right side up. You don't want your bunnies to be upside down. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday, so I feel like I'm making this at an appropriate time. Here we go. All right, so cute. All right. And so that goes down, these go like this, all right? And you end up with this quite large sort of waterfalls. Well, it is waterfall, it's gonna be all decorated. And I've got the one magnet in the middle. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do a magnet on one of the flaps, or what I might do is a separate piece that just sits on top and is held by that magnet, because there's a lot of layers here. There's going to be a lot of matting, and it might take one of those big fat magnets to hold it. So we shall see. All right, I think that's enough for now. I will be back in another video, and we will move on with finishing the pages in this book and in the other book. All right, I'm liking this a lot. That goes like that. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.